Hello and welcome. Today we're at the model making studio at Legoland Windsor. We're going to have a look at the models that are available within this little section just here, then all of the other ones that are available in the glass display cabinets. Now this is actually where the members of staff work and they repair, rebuild and make new models. So you might recognise some of them, like that directly in front of us is taken from the train. The Mona Lisa I do think is actually from where we're stood now. And then as we pan round and go up, you'll see that it looks like you've got Buckingham Palace gates, which have obviously been refurbed. Then you've got all the heads and everything. Some of them look like they're from the Pirates, some of them look like they're from the Adventure ones as well. This was done for the Brickle Treat, hence why the pumpkins are dotted on their heads, but I've just uploaded this whenever you're seeing it now because there's no real reason to put this in quickly for the Brickle Treat event. But it is quite nice to see all of these. Now you can see that some of them are the bigger plastic molds, like this figure here with the big pumpkin head on, and then the one directly underneath, this is the tree that was made for the Queen's coronation, I do believe. It was for the big celebration that they had, and they had all the figures and everything with regards to how long this took. So it's sort of the facts and figures with regards to this tree of bricks used, time taken and everything. But now this has actually been taken out and replaced by a different plaque and plinth, sort of celebrating the Queen's life and their condolences to the royal family. And what they've done is they've also put a load of flowers and everything laid out across in front of the gates, which I think is a really nice touch. But up here what they have is they do have some, for example, like when we will see them, some of the shields that they use in the castles. You've got some of these, obviously the big eggs that they have sort of done in the London bit. These cabinets just here, in behind this monkey, they do have bits and pieces written on them with regards to their challenges and the harder things to make and just different bits and pieces like that. So all of that is available in a much greater detailed video along with all the information. But this is what we are here for. We're having a look at all of these. Now these are the figures that they use within the Miniland section. So the big difference between the Legoland Minilands compared to, say, for example, the Green World Room, which is the World Explorer section at the Lego House in Billund. The Lego House in Billund, all of that is minifigure scale. Whereas this, for the outside, because the buildings are so massive and they're much bigger than they've got at Billund, this is the scale of what they have to build to keep it sort of all in proportion. Now, have you seen any of these in the park before? Then obviously please do let us know in the comments below. Also, if you do work in this section, you've absolutely by mistake stumbled upon this video, then obviously please let us know which one you built, because it's always interesting to know. Massively appreciate the effort that gets taken. It'd be interesting to know how long these actually take to build and put in, and it'd be interesting to see if some of these have actually been in the park and been taken out, or if some of them are duplicates which you can then go into the park and just spot. So you'll see that some of them will have the fishing rods. You'll see the zombies. Now the zombies are currently being used in the park as I'm doing this voiceover, because it is, like I said, it is their celebration of Halloween. But you've got things like this, which I do believe might be dotted around in different places of the park as well. So I'm not too sure if these are duplicates or just ones that never made it into the actual park itself, but it'd be interesting to know how often they rotate these displays around. Now I know this one's a little bit dark and a little bit difficult to see, but when we go over to the one to the right hand side, that is all backlit, so obviously that one, for some reason these lights weren't working in this one, but they are very high, so I end up having to go full stretch and then up onto my tiptoes to reach the top. So hopefully as we get closer to the top you'll be able to see everything, otherwise you'll just be looking at the ground or the white. But I think the details within them are really nice. Like that one, for example, you've got all the flowers and everything, and you've got the gates, and it's just interesting to see how they've used all the different elements like that. You've got that one for the pushchair. And now hopefully when you start looking around the Miniland and you're looking at the Miniland videos, you might appreciate all the figures a little bit more, because when you see them next to the building, I don't think you get to see all the detail like you can in these cabinets. And now I am really at full stretch now. I am right at the top, hoping that I could get these. This was starting to rip my shoulder out because it's much taller than what I am. You'll see what I mean with just how tall these things are. But I thought I did all right. Now these are a little bit easy to see because they've all got the lights on, so you can see you've got the skipping ropes, and then it looks like you've got either playing tag or they're just having a race. So you can make up your own mind what all these are for and where do you think they've either been used or what section of the Miniland will they be used for? And obviously, if you need to pause it, because the video is 11 minutes long in total. And I just thought I'd pan around at a half decent pace just to get through every single one, rather than going super slow and making this a half-hour video. I just didn't think there's any need. I like the chickens and the carrots. I think that's a cool touch. And then again, you've got the blondes, you've got the swan by the looks of it. So again, you've got, like, when they're at the tables, you've got the croissants and everything. Then you've got the dogs chilling out at the little park there. You got a lot. I like the way they use a lot of the elements with regards to the crabs and things as well. So they do use actual normal Lego elements as well as the bigger bits. So you can see on their t-shirts and stuff, they've just got like the single studs for buttons and different bits. So hopefully it's giving you a good sort of idea of what you can use for sort of your own building techniques. Looks like you've got a little DJ there. You've got the police. And then again, you've got the chicken farm. They've just actually released that set, actually, haven't they? So that's a nice little build. Nothing in that one, which means obviously they will be putting in there something soon. So have they taken something out to put in the park, or are they getting ready to take something out of the park to put in there? That's what I would like to know. There's your Where's Wally / Where's Waldo chef, and somebody on somebody's shoulders. So yeah, they've got a lot of everything. You can see there might be some of the movie stars that are in there as well, because we saw Marilyn Monroe right at the start. And they've got some hidden Easter eggs as well. I think James Bond's there somewhere. You've got 007 in there. That police bike is obviously used in London. And then you've got like the larger families and the larger groups. I think I've seen that seesaw being used somewhere as well. So it wouldn't surprise me if all of these have been used, or they are duplicates. But like I said, I don't know. There's no informational plaque. It's just very much a case of you come up the stairs, this is the first thing that you see. Then what you would do is you would then just go to the left. You would have a look at the model making studio, have a look at the glass. You see all those models out the front of that model making studio. They rotate all the time. So obviously they're always building stuff, repairing stuff, taking stuff out the park and putting stuff in the actual Miniland itself. And then if you keep looping around to the left, you'll then have the full history of the park, which I think starts at 96, 97, and it comes around to when the hotel got built. Behind you, looping around the staircase, again, it's got loads of information about the Lego company. And then there is some larger builds dotted around, like the ones that we saw at the start with regards to bits and pieces from the castle. You've got some Atlantis submarines in there and other little bits and pieces like that. And then you can carry on walking around. You've got a load of like open glass, which you can have a look out into the park. You've got the park map, and then you've got loads of pictures, which are very, very cleverly done. And then on the other side, you've got a load of their heads and everything. And then you finish round with a little bit more park information and with regards to what the actual model making studio is all about. But this must have been at about 3:45, and the park closed at 4. So it was very much a case of I just wanted to get this little bit done, and I just wanted to leave and get to the car park before I got caught by everything like I did last time. But to be honest, I don't think I actually needed to rush, because it was a completely different way to get out this time. So they'd done it completely differently, because it just wasn't as busy. So what they normally do is on the way in, you have 2 lanes on the way in, and then what they'll do is the way in then becomes the way out. This time it wasn't. So on the way out, it just looped all the way around. I did film it, luckily, and it is completely different, and it's a completely different way home as well. So if you do like those sort of more traffic type travel videos, you have a different way. I would imagine they're going to keep that route open until it reopens again in the summer, because there's just no point members of staff spinning the arrows around all the time to swap it about. You'll see what I mean. That video won't be too far off, or it might have already been uploaded, because it's probably the last video that I'll do from the Brick or Treat event. And then, like I said, this one will probably just get uploaded randomly at some point. So we are about halfway through cabinet number 3 of 3, I do believe, and then we will have a look at all the models that I was waffling on about before. But what we are actually above is the Rebuild the World section. Now, this is a big area that all the little ones and the big ones can have some building challenges underneath. We will have a look and you'll see what I mean below, but that was very, very quiet at this point. But that actually used to be a big Lego shop, but it was solely for Star Wars. Now, what there used to be is a massive walkthrough attraction solely for Lego Star Wars. It was a huge thing. It took you through all the films, and then you came out underneath where we are now, and then that was just a massive Lego Star Wars shop. But all of that has had to be ripped out for obvious reasons with Disney. and now they have changed it completely. And I do believe, thanks to comments in previous videos, which I do believe potentially from members of Legoland Windsor staff, which are massively appreciated, it has been extended into offices a little bit. So I don't know how many offices are down there, but I thought it would have been quite nice if they were able to reopen that section as a walkthrough attraction of some sort. But obviously they need to expand and do some different bits and pieces. So obviously it is what it is with that. But I do believe, I think it used to be a ride. This is the section below to the left-hand side of the front doors of the Rebuild the World section. It's where the Star Wars walkthrough attraction used to be. I think it used to be a ride first, then it used to be a walkthrough attraction after that, and then it is now, obviously now it's completely closed off, and it looks like it's just going to be used for staff and offices and different bits and pieces. So you can see the size of the scale of that. So we've had a look at all of those, but where the Rebuild the World section is below us, which is where we're going to have a quick look at now. So that's this bit here where they got all the building bins and everything. I've only ever known that as the Star Wars shop, and then what this is now. So if you know what this used to be and what this section used to be below us before the Star Wars shop, then obviously please do let us know in the comments below. So I'm assuming that this model making studio area at the top has always been here. Now we're looking at these paintings, pictures, Lego models. All of this looks like it's been done with tiles, which is an amazing thing to do. So you don't just need to do it with studs, you can do it with tiles as well. So you've got all different ways of doing these. If you are skilled enough to give this a go, then obviously please do let us know in the comments below, and obviously let us know what your thoughts are on this, because I can imagine that these take an absolute age to get done. So there's some massive skill involved. Hopefully it's coming through on the camera clearly enough, because I did stop and then just try and let sort of the backlight disappear and then pan across, because it is quite hard to pick it up at first point just because of where these are located on the wall. Directly behind us is all of the big heads. Obviously below us is the Rebuild the World section, which I don't know if that's going to be a permanent feature, because they are opening them up in the other parks as well, but I don't know if that's going to swap and change, and they could be just different building bins, or they might even have it as a gallery. I don't know what. There's so much potential for this area depending on what the square footage gets used for. But again, let us know what you think, because what they have done, keeping on with regards to sort of closing this shop down, they have extended the shop at the top. So if you've not been here, say, for the last 3 to 5 years, there's been a lot of changes. So the big shop has completely extended. The Star Wars walkthrough attraction's gone. The big shop has been extended, and that got extended into like the cafe area. The new cafe area has then opened up over the road from there. You also then have within that time frame, I would imagine there would have been extension into the Duplo, so they would have added the Dino Coaster in at that point. They would have also added in the massive Mythica section within that time frame as well. So obviously that's brand new for the last 2 years. They've added 2 massive sections for that. So like I said, if you've not been for the last 3 to 5 years, there's been some massive changes. But the new change that is coming is between the Duplo section and the Imagination Centre. Where that video would have been uploaded an age ago, because they have taken away what used to be the very, very old Team Extreme slides. Now they have gone, the plot of land is absolutely massive, so it'll be very interesting to see what they're going to do with that area. And it's also, this has been bugging me, because we have the zebra here. Now I can't remember where this used to be in the park, unless this was from either the boats where you go around and you've got the elephants and things like that, because we had a safari ride, but our safari ride was the big dinos instead. We didn't actually have the normal animals like that, because they've got the safari ride in Billund, and they've got one in Germany where they use the zebras, the elephants and all those bits and pieces. But ours, we had all the dinosaurs. Now if I do remember rightly, in Malaysia they have a log flume, but their log flume is all dinosaur themed, whereas over in the UK it's pirate themed, and over in Billund it is Indian themed. So even though the rides are called what they're called, or they look like they're the same, the theme is completely different, and actually the drops and how it spins you around and it gets you wet and everything else, it's all completely different. But I'm getting a bit sidetracked now from this video, but I am starting to run out of time. So guys, as I leave you with the old Wembley famous towers, the big twin things just here, I am going to say it one more time. If you can like and subscribe and all that good stuff, that'd be absolutely fantastic. fantastic. But hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Hopefully that you've learned a little bit and you can see how they do all their building techniques and everything like that. But guys, as always, thank you very much for watching. You guys take care and I'll catch you in the next one. Ta-da.